When we were children, our mammy always told us not to go near the fairyfort in Hartrees Field. They were places to be respected, not trampled on. The fae wouldn't take kindly to children running around and stamping on their wildflowers and kicking up the grass. I always listened to her. Peter didn't. Maybe that was because he was too busy playing a tune on that tin whistle that he carried with him everywhere. He had it with him that Sunday when we went off exploring. I wanted to run down to Mary's farm and steal a few strawberries, but Peter wouldn't hear of it. He'd his heart set on visiting the fairyfort. I told him there was no hope that I'd go with him. It didn't matter to Peter. Off he went, holding his tin whistle as he ran to Hartrees Field. When I came home later that afternoon, Peter wasn't there. When Mammy asked where he was, I had to tell her he'd gone to the fairyfort. Mammy went straight there with me following at her heels. As it was summer, there was still plenty of light left in the sky so we could see the whole field and the fairyfort in the middle of it. There was no sign of Peter, but we could hear the tin whistle. There was no question that it was him. We'd heard him enough times at home to know how he played. We called his name over and over, but we knew it was useless when the fae had taken him. For the next year, from sundown to sunrise, we'd hear Peter playing the tin whistle, the tune ghostly on the wind. In all that time we never saw him. Each week Mammy would bring an offering of milk and honey to the fae in the hope that they'd let him go. It must have worked, because 1 year later, on the solstice evening, Peter arrived at the cottage with red welts on his fingers and shadows under his eyes. He never played the tin whistle again for the rest of his life. Thank you for listening to this story. If you liked it, would you please give this video a like? And if you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. If you're in Ireland and happen to go for a walk around the countryside today, be careful around the fairy forts.